Good morning, everyone. So, I just wanted to record a video because I started getting into the mood of it. And I know I'm working right now, but figured I would record a video. Um, so yeah, this is a new shirt I got from Target. I thought it looked nice on the mannequin, so I was like, "Hey, I really want to get it." Actually, I think it looks pretty nice on me. I'm gonna button this one up. I just tried it on. I was like, "Dude, I gotta get this." Um, this shirt. Really like how it fits well. I feel like I am the mannequin now. No, I don't know quite yet, but you know, it's just it looks kind of nice. I like the little stringiness of it here, and it's like a nice polo. It's not too bulky and it's not too thin too, so I like that balance. Anyway, so yeah, today is Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. I There's like a number of things that are going on. Like I got a jury summons that I have to respond to, and hopefully they don't choose me because it's just like this thing where if you're available, we're gonna choose you kind of thing. Um, and then I got notification from the storage unit place, which I pay $111 a month for, saying that they're going to increase it to $220 per month or something. I said that's pretty damn ridiculous. So I asked them what are my options. Like, well, the best we could do is 170. So I might either find another place or do another option, downsize, because downsizing is just as easy as you just take everything there. And so if I downsize to half of the space, it would be $91 a month, which is actually less than what I'm paying now. So that would be a win-win. I could look around for other places with good promotions and stuff, but I prefer not to do that. Now, there's some stuff that we can sell, so I think we're going to take that out and we're going to sell it. It's just been collecting dust in that storage space now. I'm talking about me and Melissa for like 7 or 8 months, so I just haven't had time to go over there and deal with it. But now I don't have any other choice really. The intent was to find a tenant and then use the garage space for the extra car. But now it's been 2 months since I posted it, and I was going to yesterday, so I'm kind of leading up to everything, right? I was gonna do that yesterday, like respond to. I know they're pissed off. People that are looking for a place, I know they're gonna be pissed off. They're like, "Why are you responding to me 2 months later or a month later or whatever?" And I understand completely, right? So that was my mistake. I get it, but there still might be somebody that's interested because you never know. And so I was gonna go ahead around 6 p.m. or whatever to start going coming up the list and seeing people interested and seeing how they responded and whether they should just be an automatic no, stuff like that. But then I started like around that time, kind of forgot what happened. I also thought about, I was like, because I didn't really want to do much exercise in the last because the intent was for me to get the shit done that I needed to get done, because there's a lot of stuff that I feel like I've been kind of putting off, which obviously is like, depending upon who you talk to, that could be perceived as laziness or not. I always think of it as it's not laziness. It's just a prioritization. So I have like 4 buckets that that I have to go back to if in the event that I ever do get distracted or I feel a little bit weird. But like right now, I would take exception to this for the reason that I'm doing dry fasting, and that's just a sudden decision I decided to make. And it sounds a little weird, but I'm doing dry fasting because I feel like my insulin levels over the weekend, because I allowed myself to cheat, just went crazy. And now my ketones are extremely low, like between 0.1 and 0.3. And I started to justify the fact that it's not really necessary. Which I'll go back to. Ketones are just, if you're concerned about your metabolic health, Sure, yeah. And if you think that somehow you could lose a lot of weight by focusing exclusively on that, okay, well then try to get your numbers up, right? If that is your concern. But for me, it's more of like a maintenance thing, and um, but that doesn't mean that like the whole idea of OMAD is so that you can get your insulin levels down. So obviously, if I know that like a lot, the ketone direction matters more than anything at this point for me. It's not so much like the value, and I just keep seeing that it's like super low, like point 0.1, point 0.3, point 0.2, and then point back to point 0.1 and stuff like that. So it's like the direction is not right. So I know that if I had a better measurement, I would be measuring my insulin levels. But that just kind of seems like the proof in the pudding for that. So, um, it, and the reason why that was happening is because on Saturday and Sunday, I let myself go in the sense of I was eating way more than OMAD allows. Two different meals, but I just was during those time frames. It was like a 2 hour event, like you know, and just like you know more pumpkin spice nutso and all that, or regular nutso, and then the other this dark chocolate thing, and then also I was baking the lava cake, trying to get it right, and I was tasting it over and over, and I was making my old cold sweet cream cold foam from scratch without sugar, just half and half, and among other things, but no sugar. So, but still, like, there's some carbohydrates because of the half and half and some yogurt or whatever. And so I just was tasting that over and over again to get it right. I probably made like 20 samples or batches or something, and I was just tasting that over and over again. So, um, and it was late too. It was like 11 p.m. And the reason why is because um, yeah, I guess I'll get into that later. But the basically I'm dry fasting, and it was great at first because when I was coming off of that high of insulin, it actually felt like I had a lot of energy like the next day. I don't know what it is, but I felt like, wow, I can do a lot. Like right now, I feel really weak. I feel like I need to eat, but I can't eat yet because I'm going through my job, and that's another thing. So I have these 4 buckets that I'm trying to focus on without veering off into anything, including getting distracted by doom scrolling, which happens from time to time. Um, and that usually is just it's usually a moment in which it's like, oh, well, I'm relaxed, I should just chill. But at the same time, a considerable amount of my time, like at least 95% of my time, should be devoted towards these 4 things I'm about to tell you. First, first off is the obvious, which is the absolute hate of getting criticized for at work, even though I'm putting in all these hours and going what feels to be all, but it's not apparently, right? And then just saying, oh well, you need to get better, you need to get better. It's like that whole feeling that it's like when you see that, you feel this deep miserable existence inside you, like, dude, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do things right? How come I can never get things right? But that's bullshit. So learning how to overcome that is important, whether that means you get a new job or whatever, right? That would be 1 bucket, is what I would say. The second bucket, and I've talked about these ones all the time, and there's no particular order. Second bucket is obviously renting out my room, right, and doing whatever I got to do for that. Third bucket is trying to remember. I have 4 buckets, but I'm trying to remember which one I'm thinking of in particular. I should I should know these by heart, but like I'm just sometimes. Oh, right. The third bucket is, and this may seem trivial to most of you, but it's for me, it's saving as much money as possible, and a lot of things can get in the way for that. You'd be surprised. And I'm starting to look at my finances again, especially over the weekend, because like I got this shirt, I got that machine. This is $25. That was, and then I spent $300 on groceries because I needed to basically get my refill on a few things. I realized like I was out of um, such a inchy nuts, for example, which is extremely nutritional, and I use that from time to time. And there's a few other things too. So, saving money is actually way harder than I thought it was going to be, especially with the inflation and stuff, right? Um, and so I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but I feel like it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And I guess I just have to keep monitoring my expenses and just making sure I don't go overboard. Like certain things could have waited, like that machine, but although that price couldn't wait, that $98 for the sorry, $96 with tax for the Nespresso, I couldn't wait to pass up a deal like that. That was way too good, and it's in right now. Like it's seriously in. So there's that, and so like it's just like how do you get to the point where your savings just like that much more money, and and then obviously you're getting hit with these things with the storage, like, oh yeah, we're gonna increase it by double, so watch your ass or whatever, and it's like fuck. um and then you got your phone bill and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, saving money is one of the things I'm focused on now. But like obviously it's harder in the sense of the other two too, like the job thing. That's harder than I thought it was gonna be, because I ain't doing 300 trusses a day. It's just not happening. And a lot of the things that happens is like you lose your energy near the end of the day, so you just end up sleeping or you end up doing something. So it's very complicated. All these things are very complicated, and then way more complicated than you can imagine. And then obviously, what did I mention earlier? I don't know why I just keep blanking out, but saving money, whatever. It's just you just have to make sure that 95% of the time you're spending your time doing these things, you're working on these things, and you're only doing 5% of the time. You're only doing bullshit stuff like doom scrolling or whatever. Um, anyway, the fourth thing is obviously the 10% body fat or lower goal, which is also kind of like equivalent. Like it's like you're juggling these four things, and because equally as hard, because there's different things like the weekend where I allowed myself to go quite a little bit overboard. I mean, I probably had 2,300 calories on Sunday, and then I probably had about 1,800 on Saturday. I thought I had 1,500. I didn't even measure anything. I just didn't. Like I was just like, dude, try to live your life a little bit more, because you want to be able to like I don't know. In that moment, I thought to myself, why should I like I think I've been doing too much. I've been pedestalizing food too much. Like every time I'm thinking about like, oh well, I'm gonna break my fast, or I'm gonna go my OMAD, and I'm gonna go crazy with these things and stuff like that. Dude, that's not good. That is not good. I think that it's like when you think about feeding yourself, it should be basic. It's like you feed yourself. That's it. You know, there's none of this thing like I gotta eat this and that and X, Y, and Z. It's almost like you feel like you're gonna miss food is gonna be gone forever or something. So like when I do OMAD, that's how I feel, and it's ridiculous. I mean, that's why like I was trying to explain to Mark that for Mark's Epic Weight Loss that waking up on Monday felt like, at least psychologically from that point of view, felt like I didn't even have to eat ever again. Like it was just like, wait, why does it feel like I was with a friend and now they're boring or something, you know? And now they're no longer fun, and I don't. There's like it's like that's how I felt about every macro, like fat, sugar, carb, fat, sugar, protein. I was like, they're no longer my friends. They're just I. What's the point of it? In other words, it's like it's like somebody's I don't know how to put it. Like they're I don't know how to put it. It's like this thing where it's like, okay, well, what was the whole point of that? I don't need it anymore, kind of thing. It just felt, I had that feeling of like I woke up and I'm like, okay, well, I had fun with this friend. Now it feels boring to be around them, and I'm not gonna miss them anytime soon. So it's like in the same way, I'm not gonna miss food too much anytime soon. Although now I kind of do. Oh man, it's so weird how things work, but a little bit, yeah. But still, I'm still in that situation where it's more about like, well, the feeling, because like right now I do feel like a little woozy, just put my laundry in and stuff like that. But yeah, those four pillars are important to focus on and juggle throughout the day. And if you find yourself, if I find myself veering off of any of those things, it's like I should almost feel really bad, except for like 5% of the time it's fine. It's like, okay, well, if it's a Saturday and you're just chilling and you're like, oh, okay, I don't have to work, I don't have to do anything. Okay, fine. Like, just doom scroll all you want, just kind of slouch around or whatever. But that's the problem, because like, for example, when you're fasting, it's like you can't help it but do something like that. Not doom scroll, but like kind of like just waste time and go like, fuck, man. Like your energy just gets all zapped, and it would be good to eat or whatever, but and like right now I'm dry fasting because after that 2 weeks I was like, dude, I'm feeling this. I don't know what it was, like at the end of the day I felt this huge insulin spike, and I'm like, I know that feeling, and I'm like, this is not good. And then the next day I didn't feel hungry at all, so I was like, why should I even eat? I'm like, just try to go as long as possible without, you know, without feeling like you need to refuel or whatever. And then also the other reason is because um, tied to this is that even though, yeah, metabolic health is generally important, where you want your ketones to be like up for a good 4 days, like you want them to be up like every month, in my opinion, and that may require fasting. um it's still important, like if you have to do a desk job or something. I think that i think that you can't just like during the weekend I'm thinking, oh, I can abandon this, blah blah blah, because the weekend feels like forever. But I have to realize that eventually that dies down, because if my ketones are not up for an extended period of time while I'm working, um, basically I'm not able to access that kind of energy, and that kind of energy is important when you have a desk job, because it prevents you, um, because if you try to have the other energy and you have a desk job, most likely either your body's gonna tell you it's got to work out, it's got to go on a run or do something active. Like during the weekend, I was able to be active. I still got a 6 mile run in on Sunday, and then I was just walking everywhere on Saturday, and it wasn't that big a deal. But you got a desk job, like I said, you always forget that, or it can be easy for you to forget that you're sedentary most of the time. You're just sitting down, and you need to if you're physiologically, you need to be metabolically flexible still. And it's so easy to kill that by going out and just doing what I did during the weekend, and just chowing down on the insulin spikes basically. And what happens is, if you have a desk job, either that's going to happen, that your body's going to try to tell you to go out, but if you push through that, which is what most people do in my opinion, you're going to become metabolically inflexible, and you won't be able to get any ketones. Not just that, but you're going to feel like you need to, in order for you to get energized, you need to keep going back to getting more snacks and more carbs, and you're going to be carb dependent, and then that makes you fat basically. It increases your triglycerides and contributes to type 2 diabetes. So it is still very important, even when you're skinny, like, well, slender like me, I guess, to make sure that your metabolic health is still intact, especially if you have a desk job. And so like the happy medium between what I've been doing and that is that I'm not checking my ketones all the time. But at the same time, I'm trying to make sure that it's in the right direction and that I can achieve like a 1.2 during the work week or something like that. Because like right now it's at point 1, and then it was at point 3 a few hours ago and stuff like that. And so I haven't had a chance to go on an intense exercise or whatever to get that up. But that's the unfortunate reality. It's like you could really fuck it up for yourself by having too much carbs, sugars, and I mean, like I told Mark, that I wasn't having carbs or sugar, but some of that did. It wasn't a lot, not a hell of a lot, because like the Nutso does. That was probably the most amount of carbs I had. I probably had about 70 grams of carbs spread throughout three days. Um, which actually, like, I didn't know that that's what it was. I'm saying 70 grams from the Nutso alone. It was the pumpkin spice one, and it's got 10 grams per serving. I had like 7 servings. Spread throughout, which is like 800 calories from Friday night to Sunday night. So it does add up. It does add up. But that was probably the most caloric source I had of everything. And so, and it tastes really good. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but it's not like I was spooning it in big chunks, which might have been a better idea to do, but I just wasn't. So that was like my biggest carb source, and I still kept it low carb in a general sense, but that's way more than what I normally have anyway. So, and among other stuff, like there were more. It was more than just that in terms of carbs. It was like, obviously the half and half and some other stuff. So, I mean, I think he was talking about how he had 3 tortillas. It might have been the same as me, and I'm not saying like I'm trying to take back my words or whatever. So maybe Mark is doing much better than me. I apologize if I wasn't 100% honest. I was just on the message. I was just trying to. I just kept it to the point where classically it was mostly fats, and like it happens to be that certain things were kind of like higher carb, like I said, the milk, the half and half, and the nutso. For some reason, those are classically normally are low carb, but that was kind of moderate. So I mean, it's like so maybe that could be what is contributing to my low ketones, and but see, that's the whole thing, and maybe that's why I felt like I didn't need to eat, and it was like because I had this sense of like kind of like probably water retention, insulin, and stuff, and in a way, it kind of makes you comfortable. It makes you up to a point. It makes you comfortable without having to go back and eating and getting more of it, because I don't know, I guess like if you have just enough, it's not gonna make you feel like you're addicted to it. I don't know how to explain it, but it's hard to explain. But yeah, I think maybe I got to a point where it wasn't an addiction. Although I will say that I could definitely have more of that nutso. Well, actually, right now my feeling is like not really, because I was able to make those pumpkin spice cold foam, sweet cream cold foams, and that to me kind of satisfied that pumpkin spice kind of like craving or whatever. And then I would like kind of take a little bit of the pumpkin spice whatever and just kind of put it in my mouth. And so the more I did all that other stuff, the more I realized like, oh well, that nutso, the flavor of that nutso ain't all that. So in my mind I'm thinking that, so because I'm getting it from other sources, and I'm like, yeah, now I could totally separate the flavoring now from the actual like nut butter part. So because I don't know what it is, they put coconut sugar in that, so there's some sugar, like 5 grams of sugar every serving, so that's part of the carbs, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I hate talking about food, man. I just hate all this stuff now that I think about it. But it's important for my goals, and I'm in a talkative mood because this is a little bit harder to deal with than I thought it was going to be. Like at first it was like very easy, like, oh, dude, what in the hell is going on? Like I don't even need to eat. Why did I ever think I needed to eat again? And now I'm back like thinking like, oh fuck. So yeah. yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my spiel on everything going on. Um, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm gonna do because um, yeah, it's like a forever struggle. It feels like, but it's all good. And surprisingly, my cortisol is not really. I don't really have a feeling of it being super high. I mean, it's starting to go up now, but I started to. It wasn't that bad yesterday. And when I was sleeping, I mean, when I started to sleep, I was actually able to sleep, surprisingly. So yeah, I really don't know what's going on. It's kind of odd, but it is what it is. So yeah, thanks for watching. Just trying to figure out like what I'm gonna do because I still have my fitness goal. Like everything is equal. Everything is equal. The way that I look at it is like everything is equal. Like not one thing is more important than the other. That I mentioned the four things, right? And because like the goals are like they're they're like four buckets, but they're kind of like goals too. Like sometimes you're like, well, what is he talking about by goals? They're kind of like goals too because like that first one about the job thing, right? That's a lot harder than it sounds like. I was able to keep it up for a while in the same way that I was able to keep up weight loss and like it, it's it's actually pretty because like I don't want to keep going to the DEXA scan place like every day. Like I think the hard part about this is the balancing act between all four pillars and or balls or whatever you want to call it. And I think that's what it is because like I had my weeks where I'm like, yeah, I want to spend more time on my job and get my numbers up, blah blah blah. But then I have my other weeks where I'm like, I want to go to the DEXA scan place more often. And so it's like, but I have to understand that none of and then sometimes I'll talk about saving more money, and then I'll basically do good with that. But I have to understand they're all equally important. They all matter, and they're all something that I need to do. Like it's just, you know, it's you know, um, it's important. And then obviously there was a point in my life where renting this unit out was the most important thing, right? I mean, for several years basically, and so all those other things were kind of being put on the sidelines, um, for years, right? And I'm so close now, but like now everything is equal. It's almost like there's a big race to reach to like which one comes first, but they're all equally important, and it's it's just weird how it works because you feel like you're lazy because you feel like you're not getting anywhere, but you are getting somewhere, and you are progressing. Like I am progressing. It's just it's just a matter of pushing, 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 pushing. And even if I take a dip a little bit, it's like that's the main thing, man. That's the main thing is you got to keep pushing, and that's the main message I'm going to put in this. Is you got to keep pushing whatever you got to do. You just got to keep pushing. You can't allow yourself to say, hey, hell is going on, so I might as well just relax and just let the fire go. You gotta like try to do everything you can to get that fire out. It's just what you have to do. That's the analogy, so you just got to keep pushing. So yeah, thanks for watching. And that goes for everyone else that has a certain goal in their minds. Just keep pushing, and it may take years, months, whatever. But have in your mind what you're trying to do, and just keep pushing and see, and you gotta, just keep pushing. Essentially monitor whatever you can, implement different strategies, but always remember what you're trying to live for, what you're trying to go for, and these are sort of small but sub goals that are attainable. that you can actually do. They're SMART goals, I guess. All right, thanks for watching.